Hi, and welcome to Sully's Kitchen. I'm Sully. So thanks a lot for all of the feedback on the last episode. It's greatly appreciated. Today, we're going to make a homemade snack, homemade version of Doritos. There we go. This one's got Wonder Woman on the bag. Gal Gato, a friend of mine. Uh, she actually invited me to be in her beautiful rendition of Imagine with other celebrities to help us get through this. But for some reason, it got cut from the video.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell,
Above us only sky.
We're going to make a homemade version of these Doritos. Apparently, they're easy to make and they are cheaper than buying Doritos if you like to eat chips a lot, and also quite a bit healthier for you. The first thing that we're going to do is make the Dorito dust or seasoning.
Tortillas flavor dust. No chip, you just got the dust, less mess.
2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon ground cumin, 1 teaspoon ground paprika, and 1 teaspoon chili powder. So this is to make the nacho cheese dust. Mix it up here. I probably didn't choose the best thing to mix it in. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a bowl. That was a mistake. I'm not really getting a consistent looking dust. I think maybe one of the problems is I was using the coarse kosher salt. That's the only kind that they had at the store. Because the salt seems to be kind of standing out a bit. Oh, darn it. Dust spill. So here's the dust that I made. Here's the Dorito with the dust on it. Does not really look that good. Oh. Okay, so now that we have our dust made, we're going to get the chip part of it ready. So I'm preheating the oven right now to 350 degrees, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to take my my corn tortillas here, and I got 10 of them. So I'm actually going to try cooking these 2 different ways. Okay, one is in the oven, and one is on the stove. Put some oil on each of these corn tortillas. Don't have a brush that you're supposed to use to brush them with, so I'm just going to kind of put some oil here on a plate, and then give them a little bit of a bath in it. Okay, 1, 2. That's probably too much oil. So let's try this, and then I'm gonna get this guy covered from this guy's oil. Okay, we're gonna just oil them all up, and kind of create a stack with them. Just making sure that each part is covered in oil here, all oiled up. Now I'm going to take my, what am I going to do now? Oh, I think I need to cut them now. Okay, so I'm going to put this baking sheet away for a minute. I got my cutting board. Okay, now it's time to cut the chips. You're supposed to use a pizza cutter, but I don't have one, so I'm going to use a knife. But I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to cut it so that I get kind of 6 chips out of each one here. Okay, I got my sharp knife here. So let's see. I'll try doing 3 at a time. Should be fine. Let's see how sharp this knife is. Let's see if it can cut through the remaining 7. Oh, no problem. Who needs a pizza cutter anyways when you have a sharp knife? All right, we got our chips. All right, so now I have all of the chips cut and oiled. I have my seasoning. So there's probably a few different ways to go about this, but one that seemed fun, putting the dust into a Ziploc bag, okay? And then you put the chips in, and you shake it around. Let's see if I can do a batch here. Yeah, I think that worked pretty well. My oven is now preheated to 350, and I guess I should have made a bit more dust.
Lust the dust. Yo, lust the dust.
Okay, so this dust was able to make about 30 Doritos. Okay, so if you want to make more, then make more dust. And so I spread out about 15 on the baking sheet here. Could definitely put on more, but I wanted to save 15 to cook on the stove. So I'm going to toss these in the oven now for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm going to keep an eye on them to make sure that they don't burn. So I was really focusing on that first recipe for cooking them, baking them in the oven, and then I started to read the way of cooking them on the stove. And whenever you cook it on the stove, you're not supposed to put on the dust until after. So I still have some clean chippies there, so that's fine. But I had to make new dust, but that's okay. So I made new dust, and I still got about 7.5 minutes left or so. I could start the stovetop. However, we all know that I had some challenges with the peanut oil, and I don't want to make a mistake by trying to do too much at once. So I'm going to wait for these to fully bake. Then they need to cool off anyways. So whenever it's cooling off, that's whenever I'm going to start the stovetop. So while we're waiting for these to bake, let's look at a montage of some of my favorite Doritos commercials.
Since my husband started eating Doritos, he's been so happy he's been acting like a kid.
Can I have some Doritos? Can I have some Doritos?
Literally.
Someone has eaten all the Doritos in the break room. Now I've narrowed it down to you two.
Well, obviously it was the ostrich, right?
Billy, use the cleaner. Yeah, it only works with Doritos.
I heard there's bears in these woods.
I wouldn't worry. I surrounded this entire area with various traps and pitfalls, using Doritos as bait.
Oh, sweet, Dorito. I can't reach it!
I think I've diagnosed your condition. It seems that whenever you see Doritos, your nervous system gets overexcited and simply shuts down.
So you're saying I can never eat Doritos again?
Well, in theory, a large electrical shock could stabilize you, but that would be highly dangerous.
I don't know what could make this any better.
I do.
Wow, where did you learn how to kiss like that?
My dad.
It's payday.
Okay, so I took them out of the oven, and they're just cooling now. And let me tell you, they look underwhelming. Okay, I'm kind of blaming the dust, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We haven't tasted it yet. And so now I'm going to start to heat up some peanut oil to 350 degrees, and I am absolutely going to be using my my thermometer so that I don't have a big explosion like the Big Mac combo episode. So I'm going to heat up the oil now, and then I'm going to get a plate with the paper towel on it ready. So you're supposed to cook them in a big pot like this. However, I didn't have enough peanut oil to have a couple inches of the oil, so I'm actually going to convert it over to this small pot. So the batches may be smaller, but gotta do it right. Okay, so the oil is at 350 degrees Celsius. No, Fahrenheit. No, don't do Celsius. So anyways, I'm about to put the corn chips in. However, I am going to have my baking powder ready just in case. Or was it baking soda? Pour baking soda or salt to smother the fire. I'm going to be having these in the oil for about 2.5 to 3 minutes, something like that, just until they're crispy. And I'm going to use tongs to keep stirring them around, flip them around, things like that. Then I'm going to put them into here after, and then I'm going to put on the seasoning and kind of spread them around, and then I'm going to put them on a plate with paper towel on it. That's the plan, anyways. So I made 2 batches of the Doritos. How many do I have there? I'd say about 15 in total. I still had a bunch of tortillas cut up, so I'm just also making some plain nacho chips. And I still have these tortilla chips that were already mixed in with the dust in the bag. But and I turned off the oven, so I'm not going to make another batch in the oven. Do I throw them out, or do I see what they do in the fryer whenever they already have the dust on? Let's give it a shot.
Ooh, hot stuff all over my nachos, walking like a taco, driving over potholes, hotter than a pot roast, fingers on my hot chips, red-handed, come on man, I'ma need some chopsticks, quietly the house and I'ma need another outfit, fly it in a maggot on the wall inside a cockpit, speaking of desire, baby, preaching to the choir, man, my tongue is doing fine, but the roof is on fire.
Here's the big moment, the taste test. Do I have a future making my own chips, or am I going to be insulting my lips? Stupid. Comparative taste test. So the first is the Doritos, the original. And palate cleanse. Here is the one that I baked in the oven. Okay, that crunch factor is there. I think I might have left it in a bit too long. Spices seem a little burnt. The dust seems very salty. It doesn't really seem cheesy. Okay, palate cleanse. This is from the ones I made on the stove. Crunch is there, but the coating didn't quite turn out that well. The dust on it doesn't taste as burnt, but the seasoning is just not good. The paprika gives it a very bitter taste. So I would redo the seasoning, because that has a lot to do with the taste of it. Use your favorite seasoning and whatnot. Here's one with no seasoning at all. It's just plain nacho chip. I was just interested to see, just without the seasoning, just a chip alone, how it turns out when on the oven. That's good. I could eat those for sure. And also just notice that all of them have shrunk because they were initially the same size as this Dorito, but they've gotten considerably smaller once baked or cooked. And this is the last one. This is where I already had the dust on it, and then I put them on the stove. You see, like the covering. Very good covering, but tastes burnt. That sucks. Gross. I think I'm just going to stick with buying my Doritos now on. However, the plain nachos, I would make my own nachos from scratch with the corn tortillas. Those were very good. So not quite the win that we were looking for, but gained some value out of it. Which is kind of funny because that's a lot like life. You have your own goals, your own path and plan, but the plan often doesn't work out. But something else happens along the way, and while you were disappointed that the Doritos didn't work out, I now know that nachos, which I would eat a lot more than Doritos anyways, are very good. Blessings come in disguise. Now, you know what goes with Doritos. That's right. Mountain Dew. But I don't have any Mountain Dew. So anyways, so that's it. Bye.